All right, hey y'all. Guess what? Guess right, you heard it. The bases are loaded. Welcome. I'm your host, LA, and I am so excited to be bringing you where we cover all the bases of sports, television, media, along with all of the things that are happening right now in this world today, in your world, and of course, and abroad. We're excited to come at you live right now in the beautiful city of Atlanta, Georgia, where we are starting this new podcast right now for you. So, with that said, let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm just a homeboy from Brooklyn by way of South Georgia. I play ball all over the country as well as being, of course, a sports fanatic. So I guess that makes me probably part of the U3 basis, which is undeniable, unapologetic, as well as unrelenting in getting you this information to you on a daily basis. And I promise you we will do just that. With that said, guess what we had last night? The CFP, the Natty, as a lot of people like to call it. The Natty last night happened. That's right, the CFP, college, of course, football playoffs. For those folks who don't know what that acronym is, all you novice people like that out there. LA, I guess not. We'll just say this. Mike Lowry. We're probably going to just bring him in every now and then. Folks, you'll hear me say names like that. Mike Lowry, Mike D, but Mike Lowry on a pretty much continual basis. The CFP happened last night. I don't know if it was lopsided to a lot of you. If you were a Michigan Wolverines fan, you're excited about that. I guess I'm a little biased. I'm sorry. I'm unapologetic about it. I'm a Florida State fan, as you well can see right here, because, hey, we were cheated. We were cheated really, really bad, folks, and that's okay. It's the first time a top 5 team was kicked out of the playoff situation. We didn't even get a chance to play. But with that said, I constantly was rooting for, of course, the Washington Huskies last night. I thought Penix was cheated out of course, the Heisman Trophy. I thought he was well deserving of that with his numbers, along with the fact that they were an undefeated team. I didn't understand what that, on that basis of actually giving someone who's only 9-7 the actual Heisman Trophy winner. I think that's another time that's a bit unprecedented, of course. But just to let you know, right now, the CFP happened last night. Wolverines, they won it. Hey, are you liking The Bases Are Loaded? I do. Guess what? Like, share, and subscribe. I'll keep coming on your phone. I promise you I will. I won't let you down. Let's talk about Jim Harbaugh for a moment. Jim Harbaugh, 3 days, 3 games, 4 games actually. 4 games, he was suspended, okay? I don't know where you could go. I guess this is really he's a Trump supporter. Hey, guess what? It seems like everybody that supports Trump is all right. They're over the hump. Because the hump for Trump is always going to work. The man got suspended for 4 games, and he still was allowed to play for the national championship. And he had the nerve, the temerity to sit his behind on national television yesterday after winning this thing and licked his tongue out and said, guess what? Mike Lowry, can you believe this? That son of a had the nerve to sit there and say, we're innocent. We're innocent. We're innocent. I guess they're innocent until proven guilty. But we're going to see what the NCAA has to say about that. Mike Lowry, Mike D, I know you're the person that you always coming up, and you're always pretty much the righteous one in the group. You're always telling us pretty much who's going to be right and wrong and everything. So I'm pretty sure you're probably going to have something to say about that. I'm sure you'll send me an email or you'll send me something, or you might come on this podcast. Who knows? One day we'll get you on here so you can expound upon that. But right now, the NCAA is going to be looking into sanctioning them because they did win, but at what cost? Who knows if they were cheating? Guess what? Once a cheat, I always thought you had to beat the cheat, okay? Mike Lowry, you know that better than me. Anyway, basketball, folks. Let's go to the basketball a little bit. Let's see. Basketball right now. Basketball is happening. They had can you believe it, an in-season tournament? What? In-season? And guess who won? LeBron James did it again. The chosen one, as he so eloquently has called himself, of course, the king. They won that, but at the same time, they haven't been doing jack shit since then, okay? Draymond Green, he's being himself, being green. I guess he's green with the money because he just got a huge contract to just go out there and just do bat shit stuff, of course. Goes out and pretends he's not hitting someone and stepping on their balls as he's getting up so effortlessly off the floor. But, hey, it is what it is. But guess what? Be that it may, the league Adam Silverman decided, guess what? Silver said, you know what, bro? I'm tired of your shenanigans, for lack of a better word. He gave this guy, and I've never heard of it, and someone can actually chime in and tell me what is that. Have they ever heard of this? I know I haven't. Mike Lowry, you're going to have to tell me about this one, brother. They gave this brother an unprecedented suspension that had no return date. That's right, folks. No return date on how long you're going to be suspended. I'm like, why not just go ahead and just tell the brother, just take off the whole year if you're going to tell him point blank, we're going to suspend you, and we're not going to tell you when we're going to bring you back. That seems like a little bit of torture to me. So sure enough, in his being torturing, my good friend and colleague, Mr. Stephen A. Smith, decided to get on national television and say these words, and I quote, if that was LeBron James, what is going on with Curry? Steph Curry needs to take some accountability for his leadership role, because his leadership, had that been LeBron James, we would lament over the fact that right now we would be roasting him and saying his lack of accountability of leadership is well obscured in this feat. And guess what? Draymond Green he intercessively just said point blank, look, don't like that you said that. You're supposed to be my homie. You're supposed to be my ace. How you gonna say that kind of stuff in that place? Well, and I quote him. He said point blank, I was struck. It hurt my feelings. Said it sounded like he was getting ready to cry a little bit. So, of course, Stephen A. Smith took offense to this because he came back on his show, First Take, today, and said point blank, and I quote him, listen, if you're going to quote something that I'm saying, quote it correctly. Or if not, shut the hell up. In the words of Stephen A. Smith. So sure enough, that's going to be an ongoing little route that's going to happen pretty soon, folks. So right now, in the world of basketball, Ja Morant. Those of you who love Ja Morant, guess what? I got some bad, on the basis of this one. This is on an undeniable basis, folks. And it's going to become unrelenting because guess what? Ja Morant was in practice yesterday and tore his labrum. He is out for the season. He has to have season injury. He's got to have a season-ending surgery that's pretty much going to sideline him for the rest of the season, not to tank someone. I think Mike Lowry might even gave up to the GOAT on this one and might have said, hey, that sounds like a little bit like tanking to me, because that just seems kind of customary that they would have this kind of injury and he's out and they know there's no way in the world they would have caught the number one seed in the West anyway. So we're going to see how that's going to play out, okay? So right now, we'll switch it back up. Guess what, folks? Guess what? My Giants. Yes, right. That's right. I am a New York Giants fan. If you notice, I started this off with that New York Yankees hat. Guess what? My Yankees are on the rise, though, baby. We got some stuff happening. But right now, the New York Giants. Whew, Lord. Let me tell you what's going on right now in the world of the NFL, okay? Right now, the Giants are completely out of the playoffs, of course, with a terrible, just dismal season. But we did end it on a winning note. We did actually win the last game that we played. So we're excited about that. So hopefully when we get ready to franchise tag, of course, Mr. Saquon Barkley, hopefully it'll be all for naught, okay? So right now, folks, I guess you guys are getting geared up, getting ready. Who's ready for some football, y'all? Guess what? It's playoff time, baby. It is playoff times. Guess what? So for you who don't know, guess what? Saturday, Browns versus Texas at 4:30 p.m. That's right. That's Eastern Standard Time, folks. All these numbers are in Eastern Standard Time. So all you West Coast folks, I'm sorry, you just got to stay up a little earlier. You got to get up out of the bed a little bit and make those eggs and toast and get ready, okay? So the Dolphins are versus those Chiefs. Oh, wow, that's going to be fun. That's going to be the old Cheetah and his old team. He talked a lot of smack about my good buddy, my second adopted team, which is the Chiefs, because they use our chant from FSU, baby. Okay, everybody, including those Braves, who we'll get a little into those Braves a little later on. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, that's his old quarterback. He said that I'm getting tongue-tied having to say that word, Tua Tagovailoa. The man is from the Samoan Islands, y'all. We just gonna call him Tua. The Cheetah says that Tua is not, I'm wrong, is a much more accurate passer than Patrick Mahomes, who the man won a Super Bowl with. So, ironically, after he said that, the Chiefs went on to win the Super Bowl without him. So now, isn't it ironic that on Saturday evening at 8 o'clock, they will be playing that same team. So we'll see who has the last laughs on that one, okay? Those Steelers Nation, stand up. Steelers Nation, get ready, because y'all got to play the, oh, Lord, I wish you no harm. You have got to play those Buffalo Bills. Josh is on a posh. The boy is not hosh. He is playing his butt off. He's playing lights out, like somebody told him that if he didn't get out there and start playing football like he's capable of playing, he can kiss all those bonuses goodbye for the rest of the seasons for him and his family. And he's going to be booted out of, of course, the beautiful brotherly love of where those nice buffalo wings came from, Buffalo City, New York. They were going to be playing at 1 p.m., so Steelers Nation, get ready. Get on your big boy pants, because you're going to need those bad boys playing that team, because that defense is hot right now. Also, those Packers, those Green Bay Packers, guess what? Love, baby. They got love. The Green Bay Packers have love from Kevin. That kid is on the rise. He's not thinking, who? Aaron Rodgers? Who is that? Oh, I'll tell you about Aaron Rodgers in just a minute. The Packers versus those, guess who? Those Stephen A. Smith, Mike Lowry. I don't know if you know anything about it, bro, but there's not a whole lot of people who think and have that much faith in Dak Prescott with the Cowboys right now. But guess what? Nevertheless, they won 12 games this year, and they're doing their best. They're saying that they're better than the rest. And guess what? They've been saying that for the last 3 or 4 years. And also, Mike D, I know you're a Steeler fan, but hey, it is what it is. So right now, with that said, guess what? 1 o'clock. Actually, I'm wrong. 4:30. 4:30. We'll top that off. They'll top that off. That's the first. These are all the wild card games. And on Sunday, guess what? It'll be the Rams versus the Lions at 8 p.m. and the Eagles versus the Bucks on Monday. That'll be basically the last Monday night football game. That'll be the Eagles versus the Bucks. Pray for those Eagles. They are somewhat inept. They're bereft of talent right now. I don't know what's going on with them, whether it be, of course, could be some of the season-ending, of course, surgeries that are happening from their D-line, their O-line. Of course, 2 of their cornerbacks have been hurt, so they've been struggling for the past last 3 games. So that's all right, Eagles fans. Guess what? Fly, 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 Eagles. You got to get ready to play those Buccaneers. And Baker Mayfield is starting to play. He guess what? They told him to stop doing those commercials. He needs to stop doing them doggone, State Farm commercials? Sitting up there talking about books and stuff with women. Bro, you need to get out of there and start playing some football like you're capable of doing. So now we're going to put that to the test on Monday night, all right? Now, going back to what I said, let's touch on a little bit of basis about those Jets. New York Jets. I could be a fan of New York Jets because I'm originally from Brooklyn, but you know what? The South Georgia Roots keep calling me because the Jets. Aaron Rodgers had the nerve, the temerity, the tenacity to get up on that TV, that good old boy show. I like the show. I don't call it good old boy. I like Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has a syndicated show almost already. This has only been in existence now for about 6 months. And he gets on their TV show on a weekly basis, and he had the nerve to call Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, no doubt, a comedian as well as the host of The Tonight Show. He gets up and says that Jimmy Kimmel possibly could be on that Epstein list. I don't know for you folks, for those of you who know about anything about Epstein, folks, that was the man who was a child pedophilic person that was a multi-billionaire. But guess what? He had receipts of all types of people, folks, from judges to senators to actresses to you name it. Your grandmama was on that list, probably hanging out with him out there with them little girls and little boys all across the nation. The man had so much money, he had his own islands. So he actually had the nerve to Aaron Rodgers said this the other night that Jimmy Kimmel might be on that list. Jimmy Kimmel took Oh, he did not like this at all. He actually went on his own show, on his own dialogue on national television, which ironically is owned by guess who? Disney. Disney, folks. That rat, that little rat named Mickey Mouse, who's the most famous rat of all. Guess what? That rat has made that man billions and billions of dollars over the last 25 years. And guess what? And it's so much as they own ABC, ESPN, Pepsi, Pizza. We can keep going, folks. Those networks are intertwined. So imagine the fact that they've got two of their hottest representatives of those stations and those networks are going at it, talking about somebody being a child pedophilic. Whoa. Drama. Talk about a basis on that one. Talk about undeniable, unrelenting as well, folks. But right now, Aaron Rodgers has a little distraction, to say the least. Let's see if he can start playing football next year, because the Jets are going to need him. Hey, look at you. You're watching me. I see you watching me. I tell you what you do. Do me a favor. Like and subscribe and hit that like button and tell some more people about it. All right. Falcons. Wow. The good old Falcons. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a Falcon fan. Just like when my Knicks, when we're good. I will root for the Falcons because I got buddies. You know, my buddy Kendall, he's a diehard Falcon fan. You know, I think Mike Lowry, you probably root for the Falcons every now and then only because you go to the games, because you probably get in there for free because you got one of them people you know. We won't say nothing. We'll keep that on the DLL. But anyway, one day I'll be able to be like Mike Lowry, folks. The Falcons just fired their coach after a very, very ugly, and I might add, and I was a little disappointed. I was telling my producers here, it's amazing that Jameis Winston, who I was so proud of. I was so proud of Jameis. Jameis came out after Travis Jordan went down, and that was the reasoning, folks, that they claimed that my Florida State Seminoles didn't make it to the CFP simply because Jordan Travis went down. And when he went down, I saw a different side of Jameis. Jameis came with all of the shenanigans, all of the antics out of the gridiron and off that field. He actually came in and came to his aid and said that God had a plan for Jordan Travis, which was amazing. And he was amazing when he was doing it. And I was so proud of him. And then what did he do? He just cluster-effed it up on national TV the other night. Folks, let me tell you something. For those of you who don't know anything about football, Mike Lowry, you know a little bit. You know enough to know this. At the end of the game, what do when there's no more timeouts for the other team and you have a convincing lead? Okay? That's 9 times out of 10, that's 2 touchdowns or more. What do? You line them up in what's called a victory formation. That's where all the ends, everybody, there's no wide out. You just line up and you sit there in front of the representative, the ref. The referee gives you the ball, and you sit there, and as soon as the ball is hiked, ladies, for those of you who don't know, I'm not being condescending when I say this, ladies. Sometimes y'all think hike means something else, hiking your skirt up. But you know what? We're going to keep that on the DL. Let me know if you want to hike skirt. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing, ladies. I'm teasing. Don't hold me accountable to that. Don't tell my grandmama either. If you do, don't tell me about it, because she's been dead for a long time. But anyway, so when the ball is hiked, that means that the quarterback, that's the guy who's paid the most money, okay? He's the one that throws the ball to those guys who run out, okay? Guess what? He's supposed to just take the ball and hold it in his hand and take his knee. Guess what that does, ladies and gentlemen? That downs the ball. Well, guess what? The Atlanta, they really are there, I felt sorry for the Dirty Birds. They were clean birds the other day. They were getting beat by at least 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns from their nemesis, of course, the Saints, the New Orleans Saints. And sure enough, who's quarterbacking at this time? Because of all of the injuries, the backup quarterback, Jameis Winston, is out there on the field and decides, instead of him taking that knee, he actually gives the ball to the doggone running back, and the running back scores. This made the Falcons coach as well as the Falcons organization, they were livid. Now, to me, I know the backstory. I know for a fact that Jameis Winston did run. I remember I told you it's undeniable, and I'm unapologetic when I say this stuff. He wanted to play for the Falcons. So I think that was just a little bit of backstory behind that, where he actually was trying to get back at them a little bit. Because why else on earth would you score after you already up 2 touchdowns and you score at the last second just to put it in their throat? And of course, to the chagrin, like a better word, Mr. Man who shaved his handlebar mustache, Mr. Mike Smith, after only 2 seasons. Oh, he was fit to be tied, folks. He was so mad. He was madder than a flea that was actually kicked off 10 dead cats. Okay, trust me, he was hot, 98 hot, and he went over and he let that coach hear about it. Didn't do it no good, because by the time he got his behind back in that locker room and got on that plane to come back to Atlanta, before they got in the stratosphere, he was already fired. So know what that does? That lives our last basis right now. Guess what? We've got coaches. Anybody want to play for the Falcons? Anybody want to coach for the Falcons? You probably got a great chance, because they've got a coaching opening, along with Mike Vrabel. Damn, Mike. Mike Lowry, you got the same first name as Mike Vrabel. Well, maybe you need to call him up. He's probably going to need to ride around with you for a couple of days, bro. He's going to need you. He's probably going to need that tour bus and everything that you got that's going to help him, because he is out of a job right as of just 6 seasons. And no doubt he didn't have that bad of seasons. He actually finished 500. Which means, for those who don't know what 500 means, is you're above your winning percentage. So if that means you're not 9-9, you're 9-7. You're 9-6. 9 is above that last number. So that's what that means about the 500. So when you hear that little jargon about 500, they're not even 500. That's what that means. That means they're an even on their odds of winning. Okay. So sure enough, Mike Vrabel, who came from that good old New England camp, those of you who knew about those glory days of New England, they're pretty much broken up, because I'm pretty sure that after this season, guess who's next? Bill Belichick. So guess what? Falcons fans, maybe you guys need to do just that. Maybe you guys need to call up. I think his name is Arthur too. Arthur Blank. See if you can write him a blank. Tell him to write a blank check. His last name is Blank. See if you can get him to write a blank check. Because Belichick is going to be available, because he'll be out pretty soon. I'm pretty sure that you heard me say it. I say I'm unapologetic when I say it. It hadn't happened yet, but I promise you, I will bring it back to you next time. And with that said, folks, anytime you guys have any questions or anything about, and definitely I welcome all of your commentary, all of your praise, and all of your hate. I love the hate. Hate me, baby. I love that hate. Hate me. Hate me, Ike. Anyway, you guys, it's been great hearing and allowing me to come into your little stratosphere of understanding of what sports are on these bases today, and we'll catch you the next time. Thanks for watching. This show was brought to you by Hot and Saucy. Flavor over heat. Just like us, we're hot and saucy and the bases are loaded, baby.